Citizen may approach.
Yes.
Mr. Citizen, I'm going to show you what has been marked as exhibit number 363. Could you take a look at that and see if you recognize those records?
I do.
And what are those, sir?
There are call records for mobile directory number 951-536-2162.
And are those the exact same records that were reflected in exhibit 362 that you discussed a few moments ago?
Yes.
Okay. Now what I'd ask you to do again, I renew my request, just to refresh your memory, there were calls, your customer, what I was asking for is your customer, Mr. Alexander, his number is what?
951-536-2162.
Okay. And could you do me a favor then and highlight the calls Mr. Alexander made from that number to 831-402-1901? And if I may approach, Judge. Thank you, sir. And just let us know when you're done.
I'm finished.
Sir. Your Honor, I would move for the admission of exhibit 363.
No objection.
363 is admitted.
And Mr. Citizen, if you could, maybe we'll go through kind of a reorientation here in terms of how it works when the records go from your customer to another person, okay?
Okay.
So it appears based on what you told us before, the far column, column to the far right, excuse me, is the person who is the calling party, correct?
That is correct.
Okay. And the dialed number here, that is the person that your customer has called. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay. And then when we see this column over here, that just relates to the your trace on whatever number phone is being used. Is that accurate?
That's one way of putting it, yes.
I'm sorry, I didn't understand your answer.
That is one way of putting it, yes.
Okay. Did I put it in correctly?
No, that column just shows that these records are for that number, 951-536-2162.
Okay. Now, going back then, based on what you told us before, this column here denotes the number of seconds that the call lasts, correct?
Correct.
Okay. So looking at this call on June 2nd at 3:04 a.m.,
Correct.
and that is 1,011 seconds, correct?
Correct.
And again, I think we talked about it a little before, that's probably over 16 minutes.
It is.
Okay. Can you calculate for us what that is?
It's about 18 minutes. Just under 18 minutes.
I'm sorry?
Just under 18 minutes.
Just under 18 minutes? Okay. And again, the recipient of that was the 831 number, correct?
Correct.
And just to bring it into view here, the dialer was the 951 number, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Now, if we go down a little farther, we have, I believe what we can see is another call on the 2nd. And it looks like 3:21 a.m., correct?
Correct.
Now, I said another call, and maybe that was incorrect assumption on my part. Is that accurate? You grouped some of the calls together on time, so I just want to make sure we're accurate.
Well, this is its own individual. This one line represents one call.
Okay, all right. And that call came from the 951 number, and it was 2,450 seconds.
Correct.
Okay. And would you be able to do the math for us on how long a call that is?
Just under 41 minutes.
Okay. You were asked about the voicemail features on Verizon. I think there was a standard voicemail and a deluxe or expanded voicemail. Is that the word you use?
Enhanced.
Enhanced, okay. Does Verizon voicemail allow for someone to erase their message and start over? Sometimes you get calls that say, if you're satisfied with your message, press blank. If not,
Yes.
yeah, okay. So when you said that when you told this Mr. Martinez that in your experience you thought someone was going in there, you really didn't know that for sure. They could have been erasing their messages and doing it over again. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay. Your Honor, that's all the questions I have.
Redirect.
So with regard to Exhibit 363, it's this one with the blue lines on it. And we talked about do you see those blue lines there?
Yes.
How many calls does that represent?
2.
And with regard to the totality of calls in Exhibit 363, from Travis Alexander to the target number, how many are there total in the whole record that you have in front of you?
Calls from 951-536-2162 to the 831 number.
Correct.
In total, there were 2.
And if we do the other way from the 831-402-1901 number to Mr. Alexander's number, which is Exhibit 362, how many calls are there, sir?
All right.
Right? I may have those 2 exhibits back. You were asked in terms of how many calls had been made from Mr. Alexander's telephone out to the target number. Do you remember being asked that by defense counsel? And you said 2, remember that?
Yes.
With regard to any calls being made by Mr. Alexander's number to this target number, were any of them made after June 4th, 2008 at 5:32 in the evening?
No.
And with regard to that particular date, were there any calls made from Mr. Alexander's number, period, after June 4th, 2008, after 5:32?
I didn't look for that specifically. I'd have to look at the records again.
Take a look at exhibits 362 or 363, whichever one will help you.
There are no calls made from Travis's number.
And by, in the reverse, how many calls were made to Mr. Alexander's number, either from exhibit 362 or 363, from this target number that we've been talking about?
Overall.
831-402-1901 to the Mr. Alexander's number after June 4th, 2008 at 5:32. How many?
Four.
If I may have those back. Assuming they have 363 marked. I don't have any other questions.
Mr. Norrie, did you have anything to follow up?
Sir, I'm going to show you again we'll use Exhibit 363. Could you tell us when these records begin, in date and end date?
May 31st of 2008 through June 15th of 2008.
Okay. And these records don't reflect any text messages that were sent, correct?
Correct.
So the person in the 831 number, you don't know, they could have been responding to a text message or some other contact to make these calls, correct?
We don't know that with these records here.
You wouldn't know that with those records?
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
In terms of text messages, what is the retention policy for Verizon back in June of 2008? For text messages.
We kept that information. We kept the date, the time, the number that sent the text message, and number that received the text message for a year, a rolling year. The actual content of the messages we only kept for an average of 3 to 5 days.
So the content or what was sent, you only kept for 3 to 5 days, right?
Correct.
And after the 3 to 5 days, what would happen to the message or the content?
That information was overwritten on our servers and no longer available.
I don't have any other questions.
Any questions from the jury for this witness? Thank you. You may step down. Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to take the noon recess at this time. Please be back in the designated area at 1:25. Remember the admonition, you are excused. Record will show the jury has left the courtroom. Counsel, please approach.
Your Honor, and we have certainly, yesterday we made a motion for mistrial, and we will be providing some of the documents for prosecutorial misconduct. The state has done it again. The state has elicited testimony that it knows to be incorrect because he talked about text messages not existing and them being erased, but in fact, those text messages were later disclosed after much litigation. So he has brought forth evidence from Mr. Citizen that is inaccurate. I do have one other issue, but I'll rest on that. As cumulative and for the court's consideration to the documents we will submit, hopefully later today or tomorrow.
Mr. Martinez?
The state doesn't know if these comments about the text messages are made just out of an ignorance or deceit. And I will leave that to the court to decide after reviewing the pleadings in this case. Mr. Citizen's testimony was that Verizon overrides or deletes these messages after 3 to 5 days. Everybody heard that. And yesterday when we discussed the telephone, and Detective Melendez was on the stand, he indicated that there is a program that goes to the actual telephone, whatever the exhibit number is of the telephone, and that at the time that he was going into the telephone, he doesn't work for Verizon. He works for the Mesa Police Department. So he has no connection to Verizon. But when he went to the actual telephone, the SIM card or the memory stick, whatever you want to call it, in that particular card. For example, if we're going to talk about the camera, if it's made by Canon, he didn't go to Canon to get the documents or the photographs. He went to the actual SIM card or the memory stick to get that information. The same thing with the telephone. He went to the telephone, attempted to get the text messages, and he said the technology was not available for me to extract it. I could view it, but I couldn't extract it. Once the technology was available to extract it from the telephone, not Verizon, then it became available to the defense 2 years ago. So I'm not sure why this argument was even made other than to waste somebody's time. I don't know whose time is being wasted, but it's just at this point, as I said, the state is not sure if it was made out of ignorance or deceit. I'll leave that for you to decide.
Mr. Nermi.
Your Honor, it's made out of disgust. What has happened here, and the state brings up an excellent point. The state has just elicited testimony that these text messages aren't available for Mr. Citizen. And as the state has just alluded to, we heard yesterday, despite all the pleadings to the contrary, on January 11th, 2010, for example, the state says these text messages don't exist, presumably based on the same kind of testimony Mr. Citizen's given, and now the story again changes. And as the state just pointed out, they're on the phone, so the state attempted to elicit testimony to deceive the availability of these text messages as it relates to Ms. Arias's phone calls, trying to make it look like, well, we can't tell what happened when that's not true. So again, we will add this cumulative to the motion to the documents that we will submit today, and just wanted to make a record of that.
All right, your record is made. See you after lunch.
One
Yes.
more issue.
We are requesting independent testing. Some of the things that the state brought up during their case of what has been marked as Mesa Police Department property ID number 402872. That is the Canon camera. I believe it was on the 28th of December. Ms. Wilmot and I were able to at least view that, although we need to do some forensic analysis on that. It was available in the Mesa PD property. We're asking that Detective Flores bring this to court tomorrow to hand over to our investigators so that testing can be done. I asked for that specifically because last time we asked to test a hard drive, the state said that it wasn't available. They needed to find it, and they surreptitiously shipped it off to Texas. So we want to ensure that that doesn't happen this time, and ask for a court order that my investigator pick that up from Detective Flores tomorrow.
What is the item you are asking to test?
I'm using the Mesa Police Department ID number 402827. That is a Canon camera that belonged to Ms. Arias. It was originally seized by the Wairika Police Department using their denotation 4DY.
From the state?
These items have been available to the defendant throughout this whole trial. He could have taken them at any time. He could take them now if he wants to. I'll just have to consult with Detective Flores to see if we could even get it down here today so that he can go about his way and take a look at something that's been available for the last 4 years.
Do you have someone here today to take this item from Detective Flores if he brings it in?
I can make calls over the lunch hour to see if I can obtain someone to do that.
All right, we'll address this after the lunch hour.
Thank you.
Mr. Martinez, you may call the state's next witness.
Thank you, Flores.
GLADYSH. You do solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
Your name, sir?
Larry Gladish,
Who do you work for?
Mesa Police Department.
Back in June, just 2008, did you work for the Mesa Police Department?
Yes, I did.
What area?
I was in our homicide unit.
And did you have occasion to assist in the investigation involving the killing of Travis Alexander?
Yes, I did.
And specifically with regard to that, in his telephone, were you tasked or were you assigned to do something with regard to obtaining his voicemail messages from his telephone?
Yes, I was.
And what's the process that you undertook?
I wrote a court order to have the PIN number changed to his voicemail account so I could access the voicemail account.
And what date was that?
That would be June 25th, 2008.
And after that, what did you do? How were you able to access it?
I called the voicemail from my desk phone and I recorded the voicemail messages that were on his account.
Take a look at Exhibit 366. You familiar with this?
Yes, I am.
What are those 2 pages?
They're called detail records.
For what telephone number?
831-402-1901.
You know the name of the person that is associated with that, right?
Yes, I do.
And what's the name that you believe is associated with that number?
Jodi Arias.
And with regard to that particular number and the call log that's involved, was there a call that you were interested in that was on June 4th, 2008 at 11:48 in the evening?
You want to direct this point where we approach?
With regard to that particular call, did that involve 831-402-1901?
Yes.
And with regard to that call, was there a voicemail that you were able to obtain that was associated with that?
Yes.
Prior to coming to court, did you have occasion to listen to Exhibit 365?
Yes, I did.
And is that the voicemail that was associated with that call that we just referenced?
Yes, sir.
I move for the admission of Exhibit 365.
No objection.
365 is admitted.
Midnight. Anyway, right about the time you're starting to gear up. I know Leslie called you, so I already talked to her, so you can call her back if you want, but it's not necessary. My phone died, so I wasn't getting back to anybody. And what else? Oh, and I drove 100 miles in the wrong direction. Over 100 miles, thank you very much. So yeah, remember New Mexico? It was a lot like that. Only you weren't here to prevent me from going into the 3 digits, so fun. Tell you all about that later. Also, we were talking about, when we were talking about your upcoming travels my way, I was looking at the May calendar, duh, so I'm all confused. But Heather and I are going to see Othello on July 1st, and we would love for you to accompany us. I don't know when Team Freedom's event is, though, but, it's on the list, so we could do Shakespeare, Crater Lake, and the coast. So if you can make it. If not, we'll just do the coast in Crater Lake. But let me know, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.
End of message. To delete this message, press 7. To save it in the archives, press 9. Message will be saved for 21.
With regard to this particular message and reviewing those telephone records that you have in front of you, were you able to determine where the caller was when this call was placed?
The caller would have been about 45 miles north of Kingman and about 27 miles, which is about 27 miles south of the Nevada border, approximately.
I don't have any other questions.
Cross-examination?
Good afternoon, Detective.
Sir?
Well, quick questions for you, sir. Was that the only voicemail that was on Mr. Alexander's phone when you examined it?
Well, I didn't examine the phone. Those are what I downloaded from the voicemail server that Verizon Wireless has, and there was more than one voicemail on there, yes.
Perhaps I ask it inartfully. You retrieved the voicemail, that wasn't the only voicemail?
Correct.
Right, okay. And that wasn't the only phone or work that you did in this case, is that correct? You sought out other phone records, didn't you not?
Correct.
Okay. As a matter of fact, and have you reviewed your police report recently?
I have.
Okay. You sought out the records of a Dustin Thompson. Do you recall that?
I did.
Okay. And an Ashley Thompson, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And what is your understanding of why you did that?
Objection, hearsay, relevant.
Approach.
Detective, drawing your attention back to the cell phone records of Dustin Thompson and Ashley Thompson. What was your understanding of why you were asked to pull those records?
I don't recall the specifics. I just know that they were named very early on in the investigation as maybe having some knowledge of what occurred.
Okay. And based on that, and who would have directed you to search out those records?
It could have been one of several people. It could have been Detective Flores, my boss, any sergeant. You know, there were several people working the case at that time. As the information comes in, I'm at the office. They call and say, hey, we got some new information. Can you start working this?
Okay. So you were asked by someone else to obtain these records and sought out court orders to get them. Is that correct? Okay. And the voicemail messages, just for our understanding, did you listen to all of them, not just the one we heard in court?
Correct.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Redirect.
I don't know anything. Thank you.
Any questions from the jury? It looks like we have one. Counsel, please approach. Juror question is, could you play the voicemail Exhibit 35? I could not hear it.
Message.
Hey, what's going on? It's almost midnight. Anyway, right about the time you're starting to gear up. I know Leslie called you, so I already talked to her, so you can call her back if you want, but it's not necessary. My phone died, so I wasn't getting back to anybody. And what else? Oh, and I drove 100 miles in the wrong direction. Over 100 miles, thank you very much. So yeah, remember New Mexico? It was a lot like that, only you weren't here to prevent me from going into the 3 digits, so fun. Tell you all about that later. Also, we were talking about, when we were talking about your upcoming travels my way, I was looking at the May calendar, so I'm all confused. But Heather and I are going to see Othello on July 1st, and we would love for you to accompany us. I don't know when Team Freedom's event is, though, but, you know, it's on the list, so we could do Shakespeare, Crater Lake, and the coast, so if you can make it. If not, we'll just do the coast in Crater Lake. But let me know, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.
End of message. To delete this message, press 7. To save it in the archives, press 9. Message will be saved for 21.
Any other questions from the jury? Any follow-up, counsel?
No, thank you.
Just one quick question, Detective. Do you know the date and time that message was left?
That'll be June 4th at 11:48 p.m.
Okay. And that's based on what you heard in the recording?
No, the phone records.
Okay. And that message, I don't know if you can answer this now, but was that deleted off the voicemail, or was that fresh on the voicemail?
The way you heard it is the way it played on the voicemail when I accessed the voicemail.
Okay. So you didn't have to go into other areas to like check deleted messages or anything. It was just
Correct. That's the way it played right there.
Okay. But it was just there. It was in the box with a bunch of other messages, right?
Correct.
Okay. Thank you.
You may step down. The state may call its next witness.
The state recalls Detective Esteban Flores.
Detective, you are still under oath. Do you understand?
Yes, I do.
Your name, sir?
Esteban Flores?
And sir, with regard to the handgun that was used in this case, did the police find a handgun back at Mr. Alexander's home?
No, we did not.
Did you attempt to find the handgun?
Yes, we did.
And were you able to find the handgun?
No,
In the knife, was the knife back at the home when the police went through the home?
we never found a knife used.
And did the police attempt to look for the knife?
Yes,
Where did you guys attempt to look for both the knife and the gun?
all through the house, around the house.
How about outside of the house?
Yes.
How about in other places? Did you go to different towns or?
No, we did. Well, we went to Wairika and we attempted to find it there during search warrants that we did there.
Did you have any idea where this knife and gun could possibly be?
No.
Now, sir, we were talking when we left off about conversations that you may have had with the defendant back on June 15th of 2008. Do you remember that?
Yes.
And we left off where there was this issue about photographs, and you were telling her that you were going to show her some photographs, correct?
Yes.
Did you eventually show her some photographs?
Yes, I did.
And does Exhibit 358 describe your conversation with her involving the photographs as you were showing them to her?
Yes.
I move for the admission of Exhibit 358.
No objection.
358 is admitted.
a Glock.
I just bought a gun.
Yeah, Jim? You probably found it by now.
Probably. I was taking it somewhere.
These are just a few photos. And I want to be careful not showing you certain photos because some of them are very bad. That's obviously Travis's house, right? Remember that?
Yeah. If Travis were here today, he would tell you that I did if it wasn't me.
No. My job is to speak for Travis right now. And everything Travis is telling me is that Jody did this to me. Have you ever shot that 25-auto?
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever touched it?
The one that was stolen? I've never seen it. My grandpa said it looks like a toy one.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what a 25 looks like. I know what a 22 looks like. And I know
It's just like a 22, actually.
well, the 22s that I saw kind of looked like the ones in the westerns where they had the barrel and the long. You know. But there was another 22 in this store that looked like a toy gun, so it looked like a squirt gun, like a water gun. I don't know.
I want to know which pictures to show you. Where's that one? You remember him?
Is he naked? In his water?
Yep. See it. This is
Travis would never go for that.
soon after you and him had sex on his bed.
That couldn't have been too soon after.
An hour or so.
The last time
2
I had sex
hours.
in his bed was an 8.
These just come out very good. Just there. Copies of actual photos. It's you. I wanted to cover you up because
Oh,
that's you. All of you.
that looks like me.
That is you. Right there, yeah, on your face. You can look at the rest of it if you want. There's a few of them. There's a few more. Which I'll try not to show them because I don't want to put you out there like that to people. Let's just say I've seen all of you. And I've seen all of Travis. But the one that sticks in my mind of Travis is on the autopsy table. I'm not going to show you. Or should I? But this one I don't know if I should show you, but nothing bad. Too bad. But it's just one of the photos that was taken by accident. And this is just a small portion of it. It's your foot, Jody. Those are your pants. No, it's off color because we had to enhance it and the color kind of changes a little bit. Let's try this.
This is his bathroom. That is not my foot.
These are your pants. It's a different color, like I said, because we had to enhance it and the color changes. The zipper back.
I have both of those pants at home. If these are the same one, though. I don't have a zipper there, though. Not on mine. And this is a black stripe, and this is white, and the black goes around with mine, too.
Couldn't even recognize Travis. He'd been there so long.
I keep thinking of Brother High when to dress him.
You know, this is another one. It's just a copy, but it's you. Same day. All time stamped, all everything. First picture. See? The date. 6/4/08 at 5:22 p.m. That's when it started. Photo view started, you know, in Travis's bedroom. About 1:30, 1:45, something like that.
I don't know what kind of camera he got.
There, see that?
That spot.
See the spots here? They look a different color because we used a chemical to enhance this. That right there, blood. It's a mixture of yours and his. And that's your palm print. Of your left palm.
I don't have any cuts on my left palm.
Nobody said that. Your cut was on palm. Do you have any recent cuts that are healing?
Well, my cat scratches me. Little things. These are all her work. You can see this is her. That's her. I've got scars. She's a feral cat. All these little things are her.
Enough about your cat, but why is your palm print in blood?
How can that be my palm print?
Because you were there.
What is this?
That's before we used the chemical. We thought we'd get something from there, but this is where your palm print was. Right on the wall. I can go over and over and over again. Over and over again. There's no doubt in my mind that you were there. There's no doubt in my mind that you did this. None. So you can go until you're blue in the face and tell me you weren't there and you had nothing to do with it. I won't believe you. I will not believe it. Because Travis is telling me that you did this to him. That's my job. My job is to speak for him. And this is what he's telling me. And I want to know why. It's killing me inside. I don't know why.
Like, there's no reason for it. There's no reason why. There's no reason I would ever want to hurt him.
There's no way anybody else.
He never raped me.
Nobody.
Never.
There's no way anyone else could have left your palm print in blood on that wall. No way. Get that through your head.
If I was going to ever try to kill somebody, I would use gloves. I've got plenty of them.
Nobody said you were, you had planned this out perfectly. Maybe you were going there to just talk to him. Have a good time with him. Something got out of hand.
Even if I were there, and even if I were going there to just have a good time with him.
What if I tell you somebody saw you there? neighbor. Do you remember some of the neighbors?
Just
Remember
Dave.
you? The next door neighbor? His wife?
I don't know his wife.
Okay. What about some of the neighbors across the street?
No, I've never met them.
But you've hung around there quite a bit, and they know you. Yeah, they've seen you there on that day.
I wasn't there that day.
Jody, you were there that day.
And even if I'm trying to think, the majority of the time that I spent there, I had platinum blonde hair. So, I mean, and I've never once said hi to them, met them, shook their hand, met them face to face across the street. When I spent time there, he wanted to keep it private, so it was, I spent the majority of my time inside. Not, walking around outside. Except for a few times when I took his dog for a walk.
Would they see your car there? Or would you park it down the street?
No, they would see it there. I drove an Infiniti. So they would definitely recognize the car, I'm sure. Because, there are a lot of cars there a lot of the time.
Where's the Infiniti now?
I gave it back to the bank.
To the impound yard somewhere?
Mm-hmm.
Are we going to find any evidence in that car?
You're free to look.
We're going to look.
You can also look in the rental car.
What company did you rent it from?
I don't remember, but I can check my debit card record. I remember the make and
No,
model.
we're waiting for it anyway. But all the new cars have GPSs.
Oh,
Factory. Not for you to
well then that's
use,
good.
but for us to use if we need to.
Well then that's good, because I was also going to ask you, I don't know if this is something that you can recall, but a lot of the stoplights in Mesa and things have cameras on them. Is there any way we could back that up? Or, if I were going to Phoenix, going through that tunnel, is that surveillance?
No.
Is there surveillance anywhere?
Unless you ran a red line. Unless you got caught on a speed camera. But nothing beats that stuff. And I have a solid case against you. And I can present it to the judge as cold as it is now. I don't know why she did it. Or I can present it to the judge with your explanation. With your parents' explanation. Have you talked to your parents about what happened?
I told them I was worried about stuff.
About what stuff?
I said that, they knew I was upset about Travis, and I feel really bad about the way I was acting, because there wasn't, especially toward my grandparents, there were a lot of times.
Why are they not surprised that you're sitting here talking to me about this?
What do you mean?
They're not surprised. They're
Well, because-
concerned. They're
Have you talked to
hurt.
them?
I haven't, but my other detectives have. And they're very concerned with you. But they kind of suspected that you had something to do with Travis's death as well. Whose
No.
parents
No,
think
that's because I told them that a lot of people were dropping my name, and I said, I'm not worried about it because I didn't do it. I said, but it's hurting my reputation right now. And it's casting me in a bad light.
I wouldn't be worrying about your reputation right now. I'd be worrying about the rest of your life. That means nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Well, my reputation will affect the rest of my life. That's why I'm worried about my reputation.
You're going to continue with the story then that you weren't in Mesa on the 4th, you weren't in Travis's house, you didn't have sex with him that day, and you had nothing to do with his murder.
Those pictures are, I don't know, to me, pictures are very compelling. I know that they can be modified, I know they can be altered, and date and time stamps, I don't know, but I think they can be
I didn't
tampered with.
modify anything.
I don't think.
Detective, did you then continue to talk to her about whether or not she had actually been the person who had killed Mr. Alexander?
Yes, I did.
Let me show you exhibit number 360. Is this portion of the tape or the audio videotape where she continues to deny having killed Mr. Alexander?
Yes.
I look for the admission of exhibit number 360. To actually have them switched, I would move 359 in, which is snippet number 13.
Any objection to 359?
And in this snippet, Detective, would you also continue to discuss the photographs, the camera, and the hair?
Yes, I did.
No objection.
359 is admitted.
You have something to tell me, but you're just so resistant. I know you're afraid, but you're already going through it right now. There's no backing up. There's no backing up to yesterday. There's no backing up to that day. It already happened. And unfortunately, you're gonna have to face the consequences.
If I did that, I'd be fully ready to face the consequences. I'm not really for things like, I'm all for the 10 Commandments, thou shalt not kill.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? But
There's no evidence to show anybody else did that. None.
well, I'm just.
You think we find somebody else's fingerprint if they did that? Possibly. There's something that happens. You keep saying gloves. There's things that happen when people wear gloves. Then we can actually see that, oh, somebody wore gloves in this case. Nobody wore gloves in this case. Nobody.
Oh, I'm just saying that if I were to carry out something like that, I would have worn gloves.
Nobody else did this. There's no evidence to show that anybody else did this but you. You were the only one. That is it. And I'm not seeing any remorse. I'm not seeing anything from you to make me believe anything otherwise. You can continue to say, I didn't do it.
Well,
But you're the kid that got caught on videotape stealing the candy. And you continue to say, it wasn't me. I have the proof. I have the pictures. It wasn't me. I don't think you would admit to it if your own mother saw you do this and she told me, yeah, I saw her do this. You would say, no, it wasn't me. Why won't you admit to it?
I just can't. I didn't kill Travis. I just didn't. I did not take his life.
Did you have anything to do with the death of Travis?
I don't think I had anything directly to do with it, but I feel responsible somewhat for it.
Then what can you tell me about his death?
You know a lot more about it than I do. When I say I feel responsible, it's because I wasn't planning to go there at all, and he really wanted me to go. And I told him no, and I would have if it weren't for Ryan. And there's nothing really with Ryan and I. In fact, he has been very hesitant to move anything forward because he's not sure about me. He said a lot of people are talking. I'll just tell you that right now. I really wish this would get solved so that we can just put it behind us. Maybe that's a good thing because he's not an active church member anyway. But the reason I feel is because if it weren't for Ryan, I would have folded and I would have just scrapped all my plans and spent all of my days there. But I didn't, and I stood strong, and he got mad and got sad, and he guilted me. He didn't get really mad, he just kind of guilted me. And finally I was like, whatever, fine. We hung up. I feel that if I would have gone there, that I could have done something. I could have.
But you were there, Jody. You were there on Wednesday.
Can I ask you, I don't know if you know this. Oh, I have a camera in my storage unit that I don't use anymore, that Travis and I used to use frequently. And we took pictures with it. This is, I don't know. This is kind of...
Do you remember taking these pictures?
There were many pictures. Vaguely. We took tons and tons of pictures. Some I saved, most we deleted. Some he sent me through his phone. And
He usually deleted all pictures like this.
Yeah, well, before he got
Any pictures like this that I found anywhere on his computer, camera, anything, they were deleted.
Well, prior to him getting his camera, all those pictures were on my camera. So...
All these same pictures?
I don't know. We took a bunch the week before I left. We took a bunch over the last 6 or 7 months. We took over last year even when we were still dating, but we would delete them mostly. There were some that he sent me that I didn't delete. What I'm asking is it possible that, that my memory card would have been in his camera? They're interchangeable.
How do you know they're interchangeable?
I don't know. That's what I'm asking is what kind of memory card it was.
Just a regular little SD card.
Well, because I've got one that's like this big, and it's thin. It's like a cracker. And the one I use on my professional camera is like this size, and it's more kind of like that thick. And the little one is really thin. And it's got like little thingies here for reading it, and the big one looks like that in the middle part. So that one obviously probably wouldn't be interchangeable because it's a Canon and it's a nice
It's
camera.
not interchangeable.
But the other one, I don't know.
Your camera's here, his camera's there. He just bought that camera.
Well, the other camera that I used before that's broken now, it's in my storage unit, but it's still there.
And you're saying those pictures are on that camera?
No, what I'm saying is I had several memory cards for this camera that I don't have anymore. And so I guess it's so far-fetched, but I guess it's possible that my card.
You're saying somebody took your pictures or your card and is framing you and put that into his camera?
I'm just saying that if my memory cards were left at his house, he would have used those for his camera. I don't know. I can explain the blood though, and I can explain the hair. I don't know about the memory.
I can't explain the blood or there.
Well, the hair. There's hair everywhere, and probably every square inch of that house. My hair. If you sweep it, you'll get hair everywhere. All over around the toilet, around in the shower. I don't know about the shower because the shower gets used, but definitely around the bottom of the sink area. Maybe
Still doesn't explain the hair to me. It had a follicle in it. You haven't been there since April. There's no way. No way. The blood? No.
Well,
Blood is mixed with his, and that's the blood that he bled that day when he was killed.
well,
Print?
I don't know
Yeah, absolutely.
if you can check how fresh the blood was.
No, we can't check how fresh it is, but we can go by where it is.
Oh, okay, because I cut myself. When I
And
was,
you're saying that blood that you cut yourself with back, who knows when,
well,
was still on the wall in the exact same spot
oh, I don't know.
where the bloody palm print was.
It was a glass that Travis had that I was using to wash Napoleon with. I used to give him baths. And I dropped it. And when I picked up all the glass, and I'm pretty casual about it because I break glass at work all the time. And it's not a big deal. It's nothing to be scared of. And I was probably just being careless with it. And I sliced myself open and...
Is that how you want to leave this? Just these far-fetched excuses on why your blood is there, why your hair is there, why your palm print is there, what pictures are there.
I don't know about the picture.
That's how you want.
Sir, did you then continue to talk to her about the killing and some of the other items that have been at the scene?
Yes.
Take a look at exhibits 367 and 368, and are those the conversations that you had with her following the one that we just saw?
Yes.
Move for the admission of exhibits 367 and 368.
We are going to take the afternoon recess at this time. Ladies and gentlemen, please be back in the designated area at 3:20. We will start promptly at that time. Please remember the admonition. You are Please be seated. The record will show the presence of the jury, the defendant, and all counsel. Any objection to 367 and 368?
There is, Your Honor.
You may. Exhibit 367 and 368 are admitted.
This is Exhibit 367.
What you need to do is you need to apologize to Travis. You just refused.
Was
Yeah, I
it?
can't help you anymore if you're not gonna help yourself.
You asked
I
me
really
prior.
can't. I can't, Jody. You can keep talking till you blue in the face. And I can't continue to listen to lies. Do you have anything else that you need to tell me?
Yeah, you had asked me what have I been up to in the weeks since I got back.
Mm-hmm.
What did you mean by that?
Just what have you been up to? Because I know this thing has to be weighing pretty heavy on you.
I've been trying to put his death behind me. If I did anything that had anything to do with his death in any way,
It's not if to me.
I wouldn't.
It's not if. It's not if at all.
Well, to me it is. I would be more than remorseful.
Is it maybe something you're blocking out of your head?
I don't think so. I mean, I tend to write everything down. I just finished the book, The Road Less Traveled. And he said, the true definition of sanity is dedication to reality at all costs. So I think at times, I may have, prayed or meditated upon a certain way, like me being wealthy or something like that. But
Well, this is definitely reality. We are sitting here inside of an office, the sheriff's department, and you are facing first-degree murder charges.
what is the
And you
difference?
are going to be booked into jail, and eventually you will be brought back to Arizona, and you will stand trial. That's the reality. And once you realize that, I think you'll be better for it. And if you really wanted to embrace reality, you would sit here and explain to me why this happened. But you refuse. You refuse to embrace reality.
I don't know why he was killed. I don't know why. I had issues with Travis. If anything, he had more issues with me. I've had worse issues with other people. They're all still alive. I'm still friends with my ex-boyfriends. They're all still alive.
You know, I've been doing this a long time. And there's one thing that I can never get out of my head. Ever since the first day I talked to you. There's an old saying that, someone's just not acting right. Look into it. You have not acted right from day one. Day one when I talked to you on that phone, I just sensed that you weren't acting like somebody who used to love this guy, or who still loved him, even as a close friend. And even now, when I told you that I have all this evidence against you and that you're facing first-degree murder charges, you're just not acting right, Jody. You're acting like somebody who's guilty.
How so?
You tell me. I know because I've been doing it a long time. It's
It's
taken
not
me a
that I
long
don't.
time to figure it out. But within the first 30 seconds to a minute of a conversation, I know when somebody's acting right. There's a certain way people act.
How did I act
Okay,
that would
it's not
make
like
you think?
it's not like TV. It's not anything like that. It's not what you see in the movies. I see reality. When I accuse somebody of committing a heinous crime or something very serious, reality hits in, and they definitely act a certain way, and that's not you. You act just like everybody else who I accuse of doing a crime, who did it. There's no other way to tell you.
Is it because I'm not crying?
No. It's not because of that.
What is it? I mean, I'm not going to change how I act.
No,
so
obviously you
it's
can't
like-
change the way you're
No,
acting.
I mean, I am who I am.
Okay, you're sincere in the way you're acting, but
Well, how is
you're just not telling the truth.
How is it different?
Well, it's not really something you need to focus on anymore. I think you need to focus on the truth, but it's something that you refuse. So if you don't want to continue, then we'll just move on to the next step.
Listen, it's not that I didn't love Travis, and it's not that I don't still love him, but I really needed to move on.
Mm-hmm.
And the last,
What prevented you from moving on? Nobody was preventing you from moving on.
well, the only person preventing me really from moving on was myself. And until I made that step and I moved back, moved away, and we communicated gradually less and less and less, and I was fine with that. I haven't found the man that I want to marry, the person I want to spend my life with. But in my mind, Travis did, and I was happy for him, and I thought there was also a part of me that felt, if I stay, I'm going to jeopardize that for him as well. We both deserve to be happy. We both deserve to have, be married in the temple. And that's where he wanted to go. So, I mean, I didn't know that Mimi didn't feel that way. I had never spoken to her except at church when I came down to Arizona. It was really brief. And it was the bishop who told me that, she had essentially turned him down. And the last few, now that I think about it, he was really just, in his attitude and stuff. And I just thought maybe that's just because we're just beginning to more distance ourselves. And, he still had his trip planned to come up here. The reason I don't know. It's not that I'm not remorseful that he died. I didn't kill him. I didn't take his life.
Did you have anything to do with it?
I had nothing to do with his death at all. At all. The reason I hesitate is because maybe this is something that's wrong with me psychologically, is I think of the butterfly effect. And it's like, you could say that the guy pumping gas down at the gas station could have potentially, because you see all these movies, these funky movies where it's like this affected this, which affected this, which affected this, if he had never done this.
I know if you had never met him, you'd probably still be alive.
That's true.
Yeah, but that's because you killed him.
No.
Jody, you did.
I did not.
Jody, you can't convince me otherwise, unless you come up with more proof that you didn't. But I can't prove that anybody else. No, it couldn't have.
What about if the car comes back that it was never even in that area?
It still doesn't negate the fact that we have this other evidence. I mean, this is absolutely some of the best evidence I've ever had in a case. And I've convicted a few people on less than this.
Well, so I'm as good as done, right? With that evidence.
Yeah.
I just can't admit to something that I didn't do. If it would help my case and give me an easier sentence, I know that people plead guilty for those things.
No, and I don't want you to do that. That is the absolute last thing I want.
Well, I know.
What I want to do is I want to sit here with you, and I want to go over why you visited him that day, what you guys talked about, what caused you to get so angry, and the details on how it happened. And it's something that you probably don't want to remember, but it's something that I need, because for me to finish a case completely, I need to know not just the details, but what was going through your mind. Because I need to present that as a full picture. Because if I don't feel that I've completed my job. Then my job is to speak for him, not anybody else. My job isn't to speak for you. My job isn't to speak for his family. It's to speak for Travis. And I know something horrible happened that day. Absolutely horrible. Something that could have been avoided. Whether something was planned, I don't know. Whether you planned it or whether it accidentally happened or something got out of hand, I don't know. All I can do is speculate. And I want to believe that you're not this cold-hearted person that could just go out and do something like this to somebody. I want to believe that, like a lot of people, things got out of control, and before you knew it, it was too late. That's what I want to believe. And that's truly from my heart. Because I sit here and I talk to you, and I'm talking to you now, and all those conversations we had on the phone, and I don't see a cold-hearted murderer like you would see on TV or that I've seen before sit across from me. That's not what I see in you. And I'm gonna call it begging. I'm begging you to at least come clean and tell me why. Because I don't want to leave here today not knowing, because it's gonna follow me forever.
I wish that I had answers. I'm sorry.
You need to just let the answers come out.
There's just no reason. There's just no reason.
There's no good reason why it's happened. There's never a good reason why somebody dies like this.
How many times was Travis stabbed?
More than I want to remember. And I'm not going to sit here and show you pictures of him after the fact. I don't do that. That's not how I work. That is not for me to do. But eventually those photos will come out. Jody. Jody, we're here now. We're right here. I think you're feeling the reality in the moment now.
No, I'm just feeling all of the things that I'm going to potentially miss out on with my family, and I think of all the things that Travis's family is going to miss out on with Travis. And he had brothers and sisters, and I have brothers and sisters. And it's not fair.
It's not fair, but this is where we are.
I mean, I know that he's in a good place, and I know that he's fine. I know that he's doing great. But what about all of his friends, all of his family that are here, and they're just going through all of this, and I know that it's temporary, but it's so very much right now. no reason I would ever want to hurt him.
Now, whether you wanted to is a different question.
I'm just saying.
I don't think you wanted to. I really don't think you wanted to. This speaks for itself.
Take a look at Exhibit 368.
I have to maintain my innocence. I can't admit to doing something that I haven't done. Part of me wants to cop out and say it.
No.
Well,
If you're gonna cop out, it's because you're telling the truth.
well, that's not really copping
Okay.
out.
Yeah, I don't want you to sit here and tell me a lie to appease me. That is the worst thing you can do for me. But back there in that mind of yours is somebody screaming to get out and tell me what happened, but you just can't.
He has done nothing but, except for some mean words that he said. People have said worse to me or just as bad. Except for that, he's helped me, he's given me money, he was selling me his car on the
Then why?
easiest,
Then why,
lamest
Jody,
terms
why?
ever. There's no reason why.
It just happens.
Sir, after this conversation, did you then have another conversation with the defendant after that day?
Yes, I did.
What day was that?
It's the following day,
And
16th.
Was it at her request or was it at your request?
I contacted her. At the end of this conversation we had on this day, I asked if she wanted to continue the conversation at a later time, and she agreed.
And the later time was the next day?
Yes, it was.
Did you actually then speak to her, or was it somebody else that actually began to speak with her?
Another detective spoke with her.
And this detective, which jurisdiction was this detective from?
She worked for the Siskiyou County Sheriff's Department.
What was his or her name?
Miss Blaney, Detective Blaney at the time.
Take a look at some of the snippets involved in that particular conversation. Sure, well, keep doing that. Take a look at exhibit number 362. Do you see this entry up here at June 4th, 2008 at 11:48 p.m.? Do you see that?
Yes, I do.
Is that entry or is that time before or after what we see in Exhibit 162? And if you want, I'll give you the,
I can see it. It is after.
so that call was made after this incident here in the photograph.
It was after Travis's death.
You indicated that there was another detective that conducted the questioning. Were you present for it?
Yes, I was.
Throughout the whole thing?
Yes.
I'm going to show you exhibit number 380. And was the suspect, Miss Arias, advised of her Miranda warnings the second day?
Yes, she was.
And does that contain the warning?
Yes.
Move to the addition of exhibit 380.
May we approach?
You may.
Yes, it is. And in fact, you asked a question about what had happened, right?
Yes. Yes.
And she provided you responses, right?
Yes.
Take a look at this other exhibit. Does this contain another version of events? This is Exhibit 381 that the defendant gave you as to what had happened involving Mr. Alexander.
Yes, it does.
I move for the admission of Exhibit 381.
May. Exhibit 381 is admitted.
canceled on you even coming up here in the first part of June, right? Why did you end up going there then? Is it because he couldn't go and you guys still wanted to see each other?
Well, when his trip the second time got postponed, it was probably last week of May that it was kind of obvious that he wasn't going to come then. But he said, "Listen, after Cancun, I have like 2 weeks that I have nothing going on before I go to DC." And he's like, "I think that's the best time." He's like, "I'm going to see if it works out for my friends up north, which would have been Chad Perkins, his friend, and now his wife. And we can do it all then." And I said, "All right," but at that time I was like, whatever. We'll see. I might just not see it till I go back to Utah when everyone convenes it. And which everyone's going to do at the end of the month.
So did he know you were coming the first part of June?
I wasn't even, I had been talking with Ryan at this point. And obviously there's a distance there, and that was difficult. And he really wanted to spend time with me, and I really wanted to spend time with him. And it just seemed like he had made a few comments, when am I going to come out there? And, I was like, as soon as you want, but I didn't think he was serious. And
Was this Ryan you're talking about?
Ryan Burns.
Yeah.
So finally, things began to work out at Casa Ramos with my schedule, which is the Mexican restaurant. And I have a 3-day weekend there. So I thought I'll take this opportunity and go see Ryan. And that was my intention.
What happened when you left? Why did you go the other way? That's my question, is why go to see Travis if you're going to see Ryan as well? And did Travis know you were coming? He knew? I saw you kind of shake your head a little bit at him.
This is hard.
It's okay. Did he know you were coming? Did you guys talk on the phone?
Well,
What was the discussion about?
Gordon Hinckley mostly.
The last conversation you had?
The last long one. We talked a little bit prior to.
Did you guys talk when you were en route to Phoenix?
Yeah. Just briefly. Told him my phone was dying, which was true. I thought I left my charger in Monterey with Matt. I really honestly thought that I left my charger there, and I had been talking all day between just on the phone. I take lots of pictures of myself, and I know.
I noticed.
Because I'm kind of picky about it, and I guess I take them and I'm like delete. I will take like 20. I'll be like delete.
Keep one.
Yeah, keep 2 or 3 or 1 or none, depending. And so I talked a little bit with John Dixon, who I was maybe going to go to San Diego. There's another place on the list there too.
That was in the same trip?
Yeah, it's a little ambitious, but I thought.
Gosh, that's like 2,800 miles.
It doesn't bother me, except I think I put like 2,400 miles in the car.
I can't stand driving
Yeah, I love
45 minutes somewhere.
Yeah, where are you flying out of?
Oregon.
Medford? Yeah, that's a good, just about an hour. Anyway, it's a pretty drive. So it was a little ambitious, but I like road trips, and sometimes I have a realistic view of things, unrealistic about my time, and I tend to show up a little later than expected, which is not unusual for me, but.
So he knew you were coming. He was expecting you. Now, obviously, you guys had, a little encounter. And is that when those pictures were taken? Did he even show you those pictures? gonna be hard, Jody.
I feel really powerless in here. Do you know what my family is doing today? Do you know if they're good or?
I haven't talked to them today. I know they're worried about you. Everybody's just kind of in limbo right now.
Is there any?
So obviously there was nobody else at the house when you got there. His roommates were gone. Well, there was Napoleon, but
He's a person too.
yeah, I got to meet Napoleon.
He's so awesome.
But nobody else was there.
I think his roommates were there.
You think his roommates were there? Were there cars there? You would have had to have seen their cars. You parked in the driveway, right?
Yeah.
One roommate parks it in the garage and the other one parks outside.
Well, I know Zach would park on the street a lot when I lived there before. I know he pulled his car into the garage whenever he would work on it.
What makes you think his roommates were there?
I asked him.
What did he say? Who was home?
He said they were there, but I don't know who. The reason I asked, because it's kind of an indication of how quiet we have to be.
What time was that? Do you remember what time you rolled in?
Mm. 3 o'clock. A.M. Still dark,
Wednesday morning?
I think.
Yeah, that makes sense. You're pretty sneaky. You go up there and your roommates doesn't even know that you're there.
I do that many, many, many nights.
How did they not see your car?
I don't know. I was parked.
Oh, you know what? Zach was house sitting for his girlfriend. His girlfriend was on a trip with, was on a cruise with her parents, and he was staying the night at, I think he stayed the night at,
That makes sense because I want to say that his roommate, he said his roommate was home, but I don't remember, but I think he said one roommate.
one roommate.
There's
Enrique, he gets up about
and
5:30,
if I'm
6
correct,
o'clock
then
in the morning.
Enrique has the room that shares the wall with Travis's room. Which is like,
Yes,
and you know, it's a KB home. Travis always says the walls are really, really thin.
yes. They skimp on that part. Yeah, so Enrique was home, so you went in about 2 or 3 in the morning. But he gets up about 6, and no, he leaves the house about 6 in the morning. And he didn't notice anything different. Did you guys spend the whole day together then? That following day? Did you guys go anywhere? Stayed in the house?
Slept.
No, after a long trip, I'd sleep too.
Travis stayed up all night waiting. He was watching something on YouTube. Some stupid video. He's like, you gotta see this. And I'm watching and I'm like, this is so boring. I'm like, what? What's the point of that? And he's like, just stupid, pointless stuff. I'm like, okay. I guess everyone's gotta have their time to binge out. Being so driven and deep as he is, portrays himself to be, it's just funny that he watches stuff like that. It wasn't anything profane or bad, or vulgar. It's just like people like dancing, but they had like boxes of foil on their head, and it was just like weird, like robotic kind of music.
The pictures that I showed you of you laying on the bed and stuff, is that when those were taken that day?
We also made a video. We deleted it
Video on that,
on his camera.
on that camera.
Did you get
Videos are hard to get once they're erased. Take up so much room.
Yeah.
And whereas pictures are a little different. What happened after that? What went wrong? I know that the last photos of him were taken about 5:20, 5:30. And you said he doesn't like you to take pictures of him and stuff.
He was very private about the shower. Like we.
Is that why you were taking pictures of him in the shower?
No. No.
Trying to get back at you.
No.
I'm surprised he allowed you to take pictures of him in the shower. The first few looked like he wasn't too comfortable, but obviously whatever you were saying to him made him a little more comfortable.
I remember very clear.
Do you remember that? What went wrong? Did he say something to you? Were you angry about something? Were you frustrated? What was it? Something happened at that point, and I don't know what it was.
What are they going to do with the rental car? Are they going to bring it here?
There were several photos of him, and the last one that we have is him sitting in the shower. And that's when I think it happened. He was sitting down, looking up at you. What did you do? What happened, Jody? We've gone this far. Did you plan on doing that the whole time? Then why? Tell me. I don't believe you planned it. But then I don't understand why. Why you took a gun with you.
Oh, I didn't.
Where does that come from then? Where did you get it? Everybody says he didn't have one. Where did you get it? If you didn't take it. Did he have one in the house?
Not to my knowledge.
Then where did you get it? Did you bring it with you? Did you get it there in Arizona?
I didn't ever have it, actually. Didn't like have it in my possession.
Then who had it? If you had it and Travis didn't have it, then who had it? Jody, please.
I can't.
Why not? Are you protecting somebody else? Why would somebody else do this?
I don't know.
Did someone catch you there? Someone not expecting you to be there?
I've seen my car.
Then who was it?
I don't know. So I can tell you. I can tell you everything that I know or that I remember.
Okay. What do you remember? From the time you were taking the pictures to the time you left. What happened? What happened after that last picture was taken? You have to tell me. If you want me to believe that somebody else was there, you have to show me. You have to explain to me what happened. Otherwise, it was just you. And if that's the case, that's okay. That's okay as well.
It's better if everyone thinks that.
If everyone thinks that it was just you. No, it's not.
It is really no idea.
I do have
No,
an
you
idea.
have no idea.
You're going through your own things right now. If somebody else was there with you, we need to know that. Why would somebody do that? Just because you're there with Travis?
He didn't say.
Hmm?
He didn't say.
He didn't say?
They.
What was the first thing they did to him? You were there. You saw it. What was the first
I
thing you
actually
saw?
didn't see it. I heard it first.
Was there an argument? No?
Not between Travis and I.
Any argument between anybody?
Is there any way I can see those pictures? I just.
No, not right now.
Can I see them soon? I will.
You need to start letting me know what happened. Okay. You're telling me that some other people were there. You know how much that concerns me.
I don't know who they were. They know where I live. Or they know where my parents are, or I don't know if they know where my grandparents are, but they got my address. And they know where my family is. Sorry.
So you're trying to say you're doing this to protect your family? Why would someone do this to you and to him?
I don't think they really intended to do anything to me.
You're saying somebody followed you all the way to Arizona from here?
No, I don't think. I think I was an element of surprise for them.
You were in element of surprise? So they didn't expect
I'm
you to be there?
guessing. I don't think so.
They didn't expect you to be there.
I mean, they had to see my car.
Is it someone who lives in Mesa local?
I didn't recognize the name.
Well, you have to give me a motive. Why would they do this? Were they going after Travis? For what reason? You tell me this, but you give me no reason.
They didn't discuss much. They just argued
About what?
about whether or not to kill me
For what reason?
because I'm a witness
A witness of what?
of him, of Travis.
Of Travis's murder.
Yeah, but I didn't really witness it. Didn't see much.
Okay.
I just, oh,
You need to make this believable because it is not believable to me right now. You need to give me something.
okay. I just, listen.
I am listening,
Hey,
Jody. I am
I'm
listening,
I'm
and it
just
doesn't
saying
make any sense to me.
it's fine because my family will,
Well, help us protect your family. If that's the case.
they got my driver's license. It has a P.O. box on it.
Mm-hmm.
And they got my registration out of my purse, which was in the purse that I was using at the time. And it has my parents' address on it.
Why would they do this? You see where I'm coming from? Why? What kind of beef did they have with him? Or was it with you? Or
Is there,
you need to make this believable. People just don't go in somewhere and kill somebody for no reason and then let a witness go. That doesn't happen. They've already killed one person, why not just take care of the other?
well, yeah,
You know who they are if you're telling me the truth.
I don't know them.
And I don't believe you either. And I can't. You can't expect me to.
Here's what
I
happened.
want to.
I wasn't planning on going to Travis's house. I was gonna go to Santa Cruz. Well, I wasn't even planning to go to Santa Cruz, I was gonna go to Monterey, but by the time I called Matt, he's like, we're in Santa Cruz, meet us here. And I said, okay. So I went to the Red Room there, just to kind of hang out for the locals. Many younger kids our age, sort of 20-somethings and 30-somethings. And I stayed the night in Monterey that night. Got up the next morning and visited with Daryl and his son before he went to school. Drove, this was Tuesday, the 3rd. And driving to LA, hadn't heard back from Laura yet, but that's what it was. It wasn't until I got to LA where I thought, I was looking at my map, and Utah wasn't really on there, but, I mean, Arizona, but because it was to Utah, the MapQuest directions I printed. Okay, I just see, like, I've seen The Sopranos, and they're not mafia or anything, but, you know, I honestly, there's a part of me inside that thinks they're never going to come after my family.
From what you're telling me and from what I know about Travis and all his dealings, there's no reason anybody would go after him. Nothing. So what you're telling me about 2 people coming in or however many people coming in and taking care of him and letting you go is just so far-fetched. I can't believe it. Why would they do this to him? What were they arguing about? What did they say? Their details.
They didn't say a lot. They were white Americans from what I could tell. They had, what do you call those things? They're like beanies, but they cover your whole face. And you've got like holes for your nose and your mouth and your eyes. And one was black. I think they were both black or maybe dark blue or something. Anyway, it wasn't until I was in LA and Laura wasn't getting back to me and it was already like 9-something. But I was like, maybe I will just go see Travis briefly. And I called Ryan and said, my phone was about to die, and I tried getting hold of Matt. I got his voicemail. I was going to ask him if my charger was there and if he could save it or mail it or something. So I had a wall charger, I think, and I was just going to charge it later, I guess, when I got somewhere. Anyway, I did call Travis and I said, guess what? And he said, what? And I said, I'm coming to Arizona tonight. And there was silence, and he goes, really? And I said, yeah. Well, what made you change your mind? And I just said, because I think I just told him I missed him or something. But I would have said, because you're too compelling, but like, he's already got a big enough head and that stuff. So I showed up, and he was watching YouTube on his computer, on his laptop in the office. We watched that for a little while, and he was very happy to see me. Napoleon barked, but he always barks when somebody walks in, and then Napoleon was really happy to see me. He gets so excited, it's little jiggles. And I just do this thing to his butt where I just kind of push him on the side, and he goes around in circles over and over and over until he realizes, hey, stop putting me in circles. So it was a good reunion. We went, I told him I was tired, I think, because I don't know what his intentions were, what he thought my intentions were at the time, like we were going to do anything, but I was very exhausted from the trip, and I just said, I think I'm just going to sleep for a little while, and he said, that's fine. So I had slept pretty well the day before, but I was tired from driving all night, so I slept, and he slept, and we must have slept till about 1.
In the afternoon?
Must have been around then. His roommate was home when I got there. I'd never see his roommate though. I think I was asleep by the time he thought I'd been left. Okay, if you don't believe me, that's okay.
I'm trying to. I'm
just saying
really
that,
hard.
It sounds to me like I'm already in the system. Pretty far in. I'm not getting out anytime soon. And as long as the rap falls on me, I think that...
It's not good. Don't do this.
No, I'm just saying, I think that as long as that is, there's less of a chance that my little brother is going to be hurt, or my mom, or my dad, or my sister that live there.
Okay, we'll continue with the story.
Anyway.
About 1 o'clock.
Yeah, we had sex a couple of times. Once was in his bed, and once was again downstairs in his office. And I don't know what he was looking at, some pictures that I had brought for him. But he has a virus on his computer, so when you click the start menu on Windows XP or newer, 2000 or whatever, you have like my music, my pictures, my computer.
Yeah.
You can usually click on my computer and then go to the disk drive and open. You click the Windows and it would come up, but none of those my this music, computers, picture, or whatever, none of that would come up. So he had some kind of virus that he was dealing with, and then his screensaver was a bunch of little bugs eating up his screen. It was just weird. And he said that was from the virus too. I was like, that's a cute screensaver. He's like, yeah, it's my stupid virus. So, for some reason that was frustrating for both of us because we couldn't look at the pictures. And they were from a lot of our church history trips, which are on my other external drive, which I haven't been able to access for a long since after Christmas because it just quit. And I just haven't had the money to spend to get all that stuff back.
So you guys worked with that for a while? Or?
Yeah, we had 3 discs, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, 3. And...
So what time is this now? You guys are messing with the computer?
I don't really remember. It was after we had done
a couple hours or an hour or so later?
Yeah, maybe.
Okay.
Afternoon. I just, he had been cleaning his house. So I wasn't sitting on the couch. Usually I would just chill on the couch downstairs, you know, if no one was home. But he had like chairs and all that stuff all over the couch. He was cleaning the floors or something. Fed Napoleon. I don't know if he made phone calls or not, or what he was doing on the internet, but at one point he was going to go up and take a shower, and it took a lot of convincing prior when he was shaving. I was like, I got some ideas, and they didn't turn out good at all, not like I wanted to. But I thought that I could get some cool pictures of him shaving. It's because he does the whole old-fashioned thing with like this little, I don't know how it works. He liked it though, apparently, because he used it for his profile picture on MySpace. So those didn't turn out as good. I was going to do that again later, but I asked him if I could do pictures of him in the shower, and he's like, no. And I was like, I just have an idea. I have a couple ideas. And he's like, what do you mean? And I said, I saw this thing in a Calvin Klein ad once that looked really good. And so he was, you're right, he wasn't very comfortable at first. He's standing there and he's all, I feel gay.
He has that look on his face, though.
So some I deleted and some I kept taking. And some he looked really good, I thought. The one that you showed me yesterday of him looking right at you, I think that's a great picture. He hates it. I don't know what he hates about that. I think it's a very good picture.
So you were taking pictures and showing them?
Yeah. He's all, let me see, and show him. His shower door was open, and his water pressure in that shower isn't that great, so it's not like water was going everywhere.
What happened when the last picture was taken?
He was kneeling down in the shower. I don't remember if this is his shower and the sink is over here. I was like right here taking pictures. And I don't really know what happened after that exactly, except I think he was shot.
Where were you?
If this is his shower, he's sitting here. I was like, well, if this is his shower, I'm sitting here. I was like right here on my knees, and his bathtub is right here, and I was taking him here, and I was just going through the pictures, and I heard this loud ring. And I don't really remember except Travis was screaming. I think I got knocked out, but I don't think it was that long. I know I got knocked in the head, and I've gotten knocked in the head once by my dad when he was just really mad, and it wasn't like, actually he didn't knock me in the head, he just pushed me against the wall, and I hit my head, and I fell. But in this case, I think it was similar because he was screaming, and I was by the bathtub. And he was holding his head, and there were two people there, and
What'd you say?
I remember putting my hand on his back because he was on all four of his knees. He was like on his knees like this, doing something like this or something like, I don't know. And I was like, are you okay? What's going on? What's going on? He's like, go get help, go get help. And I said, okay. And I turned around, there were two people there. One was a guy and one was a girl. I couldn't tell that at first, but I could just see one was a girl, and I assumed the other was a guy because their build, and then their voices. I don't remember what they were wearing, like maybe jeans.
What did they say?
One was in all black, one was in jeans.
Did they say anything?
Yeah, the girl wanted to kill me too.
What did she say? What words did you hear? What phrases?
Who is that? Who is that? I thought he was by himself or alone or something, and he was like, shut up, just finish it. And Travis was screaming the whole time. He wasn't screaming like a girl, he was just like he was in pain, like he was like shocked, like, oh, you know. He wasn't really moving though, he was just staying kind of still on the floor.
Now what happened?
Well, as soon as he said go get help, and I turned around and they were there, and
Where were they?
they were in the bathroom.
Where at the bathroom? Not the
The
hallway
girl
or the
was-
bathroom?
The girl was in the hallway, kind of. And the guy was more toward in the bedroom, but like still in the bathroom, like on the tile carpet area, right there where it starts.
Okay.
And he started coming in toward the bathroom too, and I
What'd you do? What happened? What happened, Jody? What did you see?
I took out like a little bitch.
You took off?
I ran, and he stopped me when
And he stopped you?
And Travis, he was still like conscious and still alive, and
You just left them there?
no, I ran into the closet because there's 2 doors, and they were sort of in the hallway already. And he stopped me, and he didn't touch me. He was just held the gun to my head, and he was like, "You don't go anywhere." And he told the other girl to finish it. I didn't see, but he was like, I don't think he was saying a lot, but
What happened?
he told me to stay there and not to move.
Where was that, in the closet?
No, it was like this. Sorry.
Here, I see. Is this bedroom? Okay, and then you have the long hallway to this bathroom, a sink. And you have the closet here.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have the shower. And then the bathtub. Right there. And then there's the toilet right there. Okay, this is the sink. Then his bedroom is, actually there's a closet door there.
Mhm.
His bedroom.
Yes, exactly. And so his closet is this way. So I ran this way because he was walking this way and she was already right here. And then he stopped me here and he said, "Don't move." And Travis was here or somewhere whereabouts, and he left the room for a minute. And I didn't have my stupid phone because it wasn't charged. And Travis's phone was downstairs, and I didn't know his roommates, I didn't think were home at the time. So, like, I was just trying to think if there's any way I could call 911 or call or get out of the house. There's no way out except downstairs. His windows they're 2 stories for one, and they were hard to get to. He had stuff here and blinds and screens and window coverings and, from the outside. And
Okay.
I just, she was over him, and I just rushed her and I pushed her, and there was
Here's what?
Travis was bleeding everywhere.
What was she doing to him? Because he'd been shot at this time, right?
Yeah, but he was alive. He was conscious even. Like,
Still talking.
oh, he wasn't talking or saying much, but I could tell he was breathing. He seemed like he was breathing calmly, I think. He wasn't like, he was just there. I really remember it's such a blur.
Okay. And so you did what now? You pushed her?
Mhm. She's bigger, a little bit bigger than me, not really in size, but height.
And what happened?
Well, it didn't really deter her.
Did she have any weapons on her at all?
Yeah.
What'd she have?
I thought she was the one with the gun, but maybe she had the gun, but he had a gun. So whether there were two guns or they were one gun, I don't know.
Well, she's the one who shot him, though, right? She was the one here, and he was back here at that time when you saw them.
I would think so, because, I mean, I don't know, I got hit here somewhere. I don't know. Because when I woke up, he was screaming. And I saw her at this point, like right here, and walking either back. She must have been walking back this way. And I saw him sort of following. And that's when he's like, finished. And I started running this way, and he stopped me, and he left the room for a couple of minutes.
Why did he leave?
Maybe just, I don't know.
Okay. So
He's
what
like,
happened
"Don't you
what
know?"
happened after you pushed her?
I got Travis, and he wasn't like standing up really. He wasn't really doing much, and I was trying to get him, and she came back. I got him kind of far, like right here. She came back, and he was starting to just get weaker and weaker. And this guy came back in, and she said that they needed to do me too, because it was there. And he's like, no, that's not why we're here. Yeah. He had my purse, which I had on the dresser here prior, somewhere.
And what did they do after this? After you guys reached this? Just try to stick with the incident stuff, what was going on.
She came after me, and he stopped her.
Okay.
And she didn't get me.
How was she gonna get you? Did she have a weapon?
She had a knife.
Okay. You said she had a gun before.
I don't know if she had a gun. I think, because I am guessing, I know that he had a gun. I don't know if she had a gun or not.
So she was basically the aggressor.
Yeah, unless he took a shot too. I don't know.
But it seems like from what you're telling me, she was the aggressive one and he was the more passive.
Yeah, I mean, there was definitely aggression as far as, I mean, I don't know what you define aggression by, but like there was definitely a sternness, and I wasn't like just free to walk out of there. Like, hey, it's cool, you know, and it wasn't anything like that.
Then what happened?
They had an argument back and forth, and she wanted to kill him, and he didn't.
Why didn't they kill you? Just because he said?
He said that's not what we're here for.
Did they say why they were there?
No. It was obvious they were there for him. They didn't say why.
So it seemed like they knew him, obviously.
Yeah, but he didn't seem to know them. I mean, he was a little out of it. Plus, they had masks on anyway. But he didn't express any kind of recognition.
I couldn't talk.
He was able to say, "Go get help." And at one point, he said, "Go to my neighbor's house. Go to my neighbor's house so that if you..." there was just no way out.
Did you see them hurt him anymore? Other than a gunshot?
She had a knife and I don't know. He was bleeding everywhere. It was like when she rushed me afterward, or she came back, I rushed her, but she kind of came back at me.
Why didn't she hurt
Travis
you?
and I were right about here, maybe? I don't know. Halfway, I don't know. And there was a little bit of a struggle with her and I. I was so scared. I'm not a person who fights. I'm not a person who knows really about self-defense. I took some classes once, but it was like 8 years ago. I've never been consistent with it.
Okay.
So I wasn't sure. I just knew I had to hold on to her hands because she had a knife.
What hand did she have in her?
She had it in this hand, but her right, I guess. So
Right. What happened? So you didn't see her hurt him anymore. He was just bleeding. Where did he end up?
he when I tried getting him here, he said go get help. And when I came back this way, pushed her, and he said go to my neighbors, go to my neighbors. And I wasn't like no, but I wasn't gonna leave. If I couldn't leave without him, I was trying. I felt stupid already for trying to run this way. I was gonna go to a phone. And he was like, I just said, come on, come on. You know, he was naked, but I didn't care. Just come on. And he's like, I can't. I said, come on. He's like, I can't feel my legs. And they wouldn't let me be by him.
Were you clothed at that time, or were you also nude?
Yeah, I was clothed.
Are those the pants that I showed you the other day on that camera?
I don't think I have pants like that. I don't know. I've got a lot of clothes. I'm trying to remember the clothes that I took to that trip. Oh, I do have another pair of striped pants, and they're gray though with a black stripe. I don't think they were those. I don't know.
Okay. So what happened after that? They had a conversation about killing you two, and then they decided not to.
She
Go from
really,
that
really,
point.
really wanted to.
What happened then?
From there, I was here, like his armoire, or whatever it's called, with his TV was here, and I was right here, and I had to stay here. And I was calling his name, and they were like, shut the hell up. And I was just, I don't know if I was crying. It was all just like, it was so weird. He was going through my purse, and he pulled out my wallet, and he just took some cash. I had, though, my cash stashed in the jeans I had worn, like a good chunk of it, not like $80, stashed in 420s in the back of my jeans pockets, which were in my backpack. But I had some cash in here, not all of it, though.
Okay.
So he took that, and
What happened?
He was,
What was she doing?
she was like right here at that time.
Doing what?
Um,
He's over here taking stuff from your wallet, from your purse. You're here. She's down the hall.
she wasn't far. It's not a far distance. There was part of me, I think, that was just, I was sitting and I was just like, I didn't know what to say. Like, do you beg for your life? Do you say, who are you guys? I'm powerless because I don't have any way to stop them. They were just more powerful.
Well, continue
So
on.
I
So once he
figured-
took stuff from there, what did he do?
She was, I don't know what she was doing, but she was arguing with him, and talking with him and saying,
What were they saying?
she's like, it wasn't like super yelling, it was kind of like hushed but intense, like, you need to da-da-da, shut up, it's not over here, things like that. And he grabbed my wallet and he was looking through it. He just took the cash, put it in his pocket. He got my registration out of my wallet, and he said,
What do you say?
he said, you must be that bitch from California. And he was going like this with my registration. And he said, if you ever say anything about this, he said they'll do to my family the same way and me. And I didn't care so much about me at that point. He said, you need to leave. And don't you call anybody. And don't you say anything. And don't you act like anything happened. He said, I'm giving you one chance. And she said she's gonna rat us off. She's gonna say something. And he was like, shut up. He was like, you get one chance.
Is that when you left?
So leave now. And part of me didn't want to leave. Travis was still alive. He was still, he wasn't moving a lot, but he was still alive. I could see that he was still.
Did you leave at that point?
I left the room.
And where
And
did you go?
I went downstairs. But I didn't have all my clothes.
What did you leave there?
Well, Travis said I had some stuff there. I didn't see what it was. He said it was in his closet. So they were clothes of mine. But all I had was my purse and my backpack. I left those, and I went outside.
And then what'd you do?
I wanted to get help. I just wanted to get help. He told me that if I didn't say anything, then I would be, that I wouldn't even live to regret it, but that I would regret it.
No idea why they did this to you. You have to know something about it.
Trying to think what else was said.
Anything that clicked in your mind. Because why would anybody do this to him? He does nothing but help people. Everybody likes him. Doesn't owe people money. Owe people like that anyway.
No.
He doesn't get involved in things he's not supposed to get involved in. He doesn't do drugs. Doesn't seem like a robbery.
No, it doesn't.
Burglary.
I was wondering if they took my stuff to make it look that way, and he told me to leave. And, you know, Travis usually keeps his cash in his wallet.
So you didn't see what happened to him then?
I just saw that.
Did you get hurt at all? You said you were fighting with her.
Yeah.
What happened to you?
She cut me.
Where at?
My hand.
Let me see. Where at?
You
Can you
actually
show
can't
me?
see it. If you look at my finger isn't the same though. I was really,
Where did it get cut?
it was conveniently it was right on the crease.
Right there on the crease.
Can you see it? Oh, it's kind of in purpler color. I
This
guess.
one here.
Like this.
Yeah, right on the crease.
Oh, there's the vein on this one maybe. No.
Is this one here?
Yeah.
The slice there.
Yeah.
Just a small one? Or was it pretty deep?
I don't know how deep it was, but my finger hurt for a while.
Okay. So like right in that crease that you, right, across both of them?
Not my middle finger. It cut this one a little, but not as much. This is where it really went. I don't know how it happened that all these other fingers were missed, but this one, yeah, I don't know. This one, like I still can't close this finger all the way. It's as close as it goes. Whereas this one goes like that. Also, my CTR ring used to fit both fingers, and I can't get it on this finger anymore.
So they cut pretty deep then?
I guess if you feel it, squeeze it, it just feels like bone, like there's nothing abnormal there.
Mhm.
But again, like my CTR ring slides right on this finger, and it used to slide right in off this finger, and I just can't fit a ring on here.
Okay.
It's a bigger size now.
Like this here, what's that from?
That's mine.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure she scratches me on that.
So when you were told to leave, you left? You get in your car and drive away?
I always have my keys. My keys are on. I'll have a little clip on them, and I do that because I'm very, very spacey.
Did you see any other cars in the driveway or on the street? Any vehicle descriptions you can give us?
No, not that I don't think his roommate's around.
And you just left? You didn't run to the neighbors, you didn't try calling. You knew they were in his house. You had time to run to the neighbor, why didn't you do that?
I was really scared. I was really freaked out of my mind.
Okay. I don't believe you. I came in here hoping that you would tell me the truth. And this is not the truth, Jody.
This is all I know.
This just does not make any sense. Does not make any sense.
That's all I know.
Nothing changes for me.
I didn't think it would. I feel responsible because I feel that I could have done more. I feel that I should have gotten help. I feel that I should have been stronger.
You feel responsible because you did this.
I did not
Jody,
kill
you
Travis.
did. You did. And there's nothing you can say that'll change my mind at this point. This is an elaborate story which does not make any sense. Two people come in, first two white males, and then later you change it to...
No, I don't think I ever said white
Yes,
male.
you did.
When?
At the beginning of the story.
Oh, it was one.
And then you change it, oh no, one's a female.
Oh, it was female the whole time. I said I wasn't sure at first, but you could tell by their build.
Okay. That doesn't make any sense to me. And there's no reason anybody would go after him. There's nothing in his past, nothing at that time that he was going through that would cause somebody to do that to him. fact that they left you alive and let you go, that never happens. Why would anybody do that? Why would somebody risk the chance of getting caught, just letting you run out the front door when they're upstairs in this house, killing somebody, knowing that you could just run across the street and tell somebody? It doesn't make any sense. Does it make any sense to you? It doesn't, does it?
No, they argued about it. Doesn't make sense. I thought for sure I was dead.
I was hoping that you were going to be completely truthful with me today. Obviously, that's not the case. I know you were there. I know you had some situation go on with him that got out of control. And the cut that you're showing me there, it's pretty obvious how that happened. I've seen that before. That happens when a knife slips through someone's hand because of blood. It's slippery and it cuts. That's what that is. I've done this for a long time. And this is the most far-fetched story I've ever heard. And it's not going to help you. Is that how you want to leave this?
I just don't want my family to get hurt.
Your family will not get hurt. They will not get hurt. The way you're hurting your family is by not coming forward and telling them the truth. There is a reason why you did this, and you just refused to tell me why. Maybe because you are cold and calculating.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to take the evening recess at this time. Please remember the admonition tomorrow morning and starting tomorrow and every day that you come to court. I'm going to ask that you assemble downstairs in the jury room in meeting room A. It is being reserved for you, so that is where you will stay. The bailiff will come and bring you upstairs when we're ready to start. Are there any questions? Please remember the admonition. Have a nice evening. Tomorrow, 10:30. You can step down. The record will show the jury has left the courtroom. Mr. Martinez, this is 2 pages from your transcript.
Just with regard to Exhibit 3, one that we were playing, I would like to be pull it out that and then going to the beginning. So I'm also going to leave the DVD player on, if that's okay.
Is there any way we can make a note of where it's at?
It's
With
left off
with
with-
the DVD player?
no, I don't know. I just know that she said, I just don't want my family to get hurt. And then the text responded, your family will not get hurt. And that's what we're left on.
All right, you can leave it there. The machine will be turned off. I don't know if that will make a difference, but the power will go off at some point.
Right. But the machine, the DVD player will stay on, but the machine that runs it will turn off, right?
Correct. Okay. All right, anything else? All right, see you tomorrow.